Florida is preparing for Hurricane Helene to make landfall as the tropical storm strengthens as it makes its way towards the state. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said on Wednesday that 61 of 67 counties have declared a state of emergency to help surge resources. He added, "We are going to have a significant impact from this storm." The ocean's fury raged off the coast of Fort Myers Beach, Florida, accompanied by howling winds as residents awoke Thursday morning to assess the damage caused by Hurricane Helene. On arrival at Fort Myers Beach, streets were already in some areas. It was impossible to distinguish between the bay and the roads or canals from the pavement. Rescue crews were on the scene by morning, hard at work in the heart of Fort Myers Beach, clearing debris and starting the long process of recovery. Meanwhile, Hurricane Helene began its assault on the Tampa Bay area, where some roads were already underwater. St. Petersburg officials urged those who hadn't evacuated to shelter in place immediately. The city braced for powerful gusts, torrential rain, and dangerous storm surges as the hurricane advanced toward the Big Bend region. Tampa Bay governments quickly shut down offices and schools, ordered evacuations, and opened shelters, while residents scrambled to gather supplies and sandbags in preparation for the worst. Forecasters were especially worried about Helene's water dangers, predicting storm surges up to 8 feet 2.4 meters, along with widespread flash flooding. Tropical storm force winds were expected to hit Tampa Bay early Thursday morning, with storm surge peaking later in the evening as Helene prepared to make landfall to the north. By this point, the evacuation window had closed, and St. Petersburg Mayor Ken Welch urged residents to stay put during an 11:30 a.m. news conference. Conditions were rapidly worsening, making roads unsafe for traffic. Emergency crews were ready with high water vehicles, but hoped they wouldn't need to deploy them. Amber Bolding, the emergency manager, warned that at a certain point, the conditions would become too dangerous for first responders to assist anyone in need. Elsewhere, Cape Coral's Coronado Parkway was flooded, and Tin City and Naples reported severe flooding Thursday morning. On Marco Island, both tropical storm and storm surge warnings remain in effect, along with a tornado watch. During the high tide, the Big Marco River overflowed, adding to the chaos. Fort Myers Beach Emergency Management closely monitored Hurricane Helene as it passed by the island, maintaining communication with Lee County and other municipal partners. Mayor Dan Allers warned that the flooding would only worsen as the day progressed. He urged people to stay off the island unless absolutely necessary, emphasizing that visitors would only be creating more difficulties for residents and workers who would have to clean up afterward. Efforts were being made, in collaboration with the Florida Department of Transportation, to close the bridge to the island in order to control the flow of traffic. The fast-moving hurricane's winds and rain were projected to penetrate far inland. The National Hurricane Center issued warnings as far north as Georgia, with tropical storm warnings stretching into North Carolina. The Southeast was expected to face prolonged power outages, downed trees, and dangerous floods. To aid in power restoration, around 18,000 linemen from out of state were deployed to Florida. Airports in St. Petersburg, Tallahassee, and Tampa plan to close throughout Thursday as the massive storm made its way through. Colorado State University hurricane researchers predicted that Helene would be one of the largest storms in size to impact the region in years. Helene's vast wind field stretched far enough to cover the distance from Indianapolis to Washington, D.C., and its enormous size meant higher storm surges and dangerous winds that would reach deep inland. Already, the storm was lashing Florida as it intensified and moved north toward the Big Bend region. Thousands of Floridians were forced to evacuate, with nearly the entire state on high alert. Earlier in the week, Helene had unleashed its wrath on parts of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba. In Quintana Roo, Mexico, streets were flooded as powerful ocean waves pummeled the coastline. In Cuba, more than 50,000 people in the province of Jaime del Rio were left without power due to Helene's fierce winds. Authorities relocated cattle to higher ground, and medical brigades were dispatched to remote communities often cut off by such storms. Preventative measures were taken in certain areas, where power was deliberately shut off as 16-foot waves battered the coastline of Cortes Bay. In the Cayman Islands, residents were pumping water out of flooded homes, and schools remained closed. Hurricane Helene is the 8th named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season, which began on June 1st. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has predicted an above-average hurricane season due to record warm ocean temperatures, contributing to the storm's intensity and size. As the peak storm surge was anticipated to hit around 11 p.m. Thursday, Public Works Administrator Claude tentatively urged residents to stay indoors and avoid wading through floodwaters. If floodwaters begin to enter your home, turn off the power and gas, and move the high ground onto countertops and tables if necessary. Be advised.